Robert Hendy-Freegard, born Robert Freegard, 1 March 1971, is a British convicted conman and imposter who masqueraded as an MI5 agent while working as a barman and car salesman. Hendy-Freegard was the subject of the 2022 Netflix documentary miniseries The Puppet Master. Hunting the Ultimate Conman. Early life. Hendy-Freegard was born in Dronfield and started his career as a barman and car salesman. Methods. Hendy-Freegard met his victims on social occasions or as customers in the pub or car dealership where he worked. Having met the victims, he claimed to be an undercover agent working for MI5, the special branch, or for Scotland Yard. He applied pressure and psychological stress to his victims, claiming they were threatened with assassination by the IRA, to coerce them into following his demands. Having won his victims over, he coerced money out of them and pressured them do his bidding, including cutting off contact with their family and friends, performing loyalty tests, and living alone in poor conditions. He seduced 5 women, claiming that he wanted to marry them. Initially, some of the victims refused to cooperate with the police because he had warned them that police would be double agents or MI5 agents performing another loyalty test. A television documentary called The Spy Who Stole My Life was shown by Channel 5 on 7 September 2005. First victims. While working in the Swan, a pub in Newport, Shropshire, Freegard befriended 2 women, Sarah Smith and Maria Hendy, and a man, John Atkinson. All 3 were agriculture students at Harper Adams University in Edgemond. First, he told Atkinson that he was an MI5 undercover agent who was investigating an IRA cell in the college. He forced Atkinson to let himself be beaten up to prove his loyalty and to show that he was hard enough. He also convinced him to behave in a bizarre manner in college to prove his loyalty and to alienate him from friends. Hendy-Freegard then told Atkinson his cover was blown and both of them had to go undercover. He convinced Atkinson to tell Smith, who at the time was Atkinson's girlfriend, and Hendy that he had liver cancer, and convinced him to accompany them in a farewell tour all over England. Later he let him in on the story. He told him to sever all contact with their families because they were in danger just through being associated with him. They moved to Sheffield and gave him all their money. Maria Hendy became his lover and gave birth to his 2 daughters. She was later beaten up by him, losing one of her teeth. Other seductions. Hendy-Freegard had an affair with a recently married personal assistant, Elizabeth Bartholomew, née Richardson. He told her to take up loans, supposedly to settle her debts following her divorce, and then made her sleep on park benches. In 2000, Hendy-Freegard met a lawyer, Caroline Cooper, who was a customer in the car dealership in Chiswick, West London. He helped her change her car, pocketed the difference, asked for more, persuaded her to give more money for a leasing business they would run together, and stole £14,000 from her building society account. They later became lovers and went on holidays all over the world. They then became engaged before her family intervened. When the leasing car did not materialize, he told her that the Polish mafia had taken it. In 2002, Hendy-Freegard seduced an American child psychologist, Kimberly Adams, with stories of how he had infiltrated a criminal network and killed a criminal who had threatened to expose him. He said he wanted to marry her, on condition that she would also become an agent and cut off the contact with her family. In 2011, Hendy-Freegard met and seduced a British woman named Sandra Clifton through an online dating site. He claimed to work in the media industry selling advertising space to large companies, and often hinted at the amount of money he had, convincing Sandra of his wealth with expensive gift and trips. As their relationship developed over the course of the next few years, he gradually manipulated Sandra and her family members through deception, control, and mental abuse, progressively isolating Sandra from her family and friends. Sandra later ceased contact with her 2 children, Jake and Sophie Clifton, and their father, Mark Clifton. Other victims. Hendy-Freegard convinced a Sheffield jeweller, Simon Young, to give the mother of his children a room for a time and later tried to recruit him into the organization. Hendy-Freegard also sent him to perform spurious missions as training. When the victim's controller seemed excessively amused when told about his trip, he grew suspicious and demanded to see his boss. There was no one in the meeting. Hendy-Freegard convinced a female company director, Renata Kister, that he was watching someone in the Sheffield car dealership where he was working and convinced her to buy a better car. He sold her original car on his own account, kept the money and convinced her to take a £15,000 loan for him. He also again asked for a room for the mother of his children because she was supposedly in a witness protection program and told her that she was Spanish, so that the 2 women would not speak to each other. Hendy-Freegard told a woman in Newcastle, Leslie Gardner, that he needed money to buy off IRA killers, who had been released after the Good Friday Agreement. She gave him £16,000 over 6 years. He also sold her car and again kept the money. Arrest and trial. In 2002, Scotland Yard and the FBI organised a sting operation. First, the FBI bugged the phone of Kimberly Adams's parents. Her mother told Hendy-Freegard she would give him $10,000 but only in person. Hendy-Freegard met the mother in Heathrow Airport where police apprehended him on 23 June 2005. After an 8-month trial, Blackfriars Crown Court convicted Hendy-Freegard on 2 counts of kidnapping, 10 of theft and 8 of deception. On 6 September 2005, he was given a life sentence. On 25 April 2007, it was reported that Hendy-Freegard had appealed against his kidnapping convictions. His life sentence was revoked but he still served 9 years for the other offences. The Court of Appeal judgment played an important role in defining the modern offence of kidnap. He was released in May 2009. References